Hi girls and boys, today we're going to read The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. The illustrations are by Ruth, Harper, and Nancy Leek. That means Ruth and Nancy work together to draw the pictures. The illustrator is the person that draws the pictures. Audrey Penn is the author. The author writes the words. The name of the book is The Kissing Hand. That's the title. And I can see from the front cover that this book is about animals. Not just any animals like turtles or birds or cats, but raccoons. Raccoons come out at night. That's why the moon is in the background. And I can see that the mommy raccoon is giving the little raccoon a kiss on his hand, just like the title of the book. The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. "I don't want to go to school," he told his mother. "I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends, and play with my toys, and read my books, and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you?" Oh, he's sad. Look at the illustration. He looks so sad. They made sure to draw tears in his eyes so that we would know how he is feeling. Looking at the pictures to see how the character is feeling is very important. And the main character in this book is Chester Raccoon. Remember, a character is a person or an animal that's important in the story. The main character would be on almost every page. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do," she told him gently, "even if they seem strange and scary at first, but you will love school once you start." You know, Mrs. Raccoon is right. A lot of kids are scared to go to kindergarten at first. They're worried about missing their mommy. They're worried about doing different things. But you know what? Mrs. Raccoon is right. You will love school once you start. You'll make new friends and play with new toys. Read new books and swing on new swings. Besides, she added, I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your days at home. Wait, that's backwards. Nights at school? Days at home? Oh, that's right. Raccoons go out at night. So they sleep during the day. That's why it seemed backwards. That's why they would be awake at night and go to school and go home during the day so that they could sleep. Chester wiped away his tears and he looked interested. A secret? What kind of secret? A very old secret, said Mrs. Raccoon. I learned it from my mother and she learned it from hers. It's called The Kissing Hand. The Kissing Hand? Asked Chester. What's that? And I see the illustrator made sure that we know that Chester's hand is inside his mother's hand right now. She's holding onto his hand. I'll show you. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester's left hand and she spread open his tiny fingers into a fan. So she took his hand and she opened it and spread his fingers into a fan so they're all far apart. Just like there. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. This is not your palm. This is the back of your hand. This is your palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and right into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. He's feeling the love. Mrs. Raccoon smiled. Now, she told Chester, whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you. And that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts. She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss. Now do be careful not to lose it, she teased him. But don't worry. When you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick. So it's not going to wash off. Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and he grinned. "Give me your hand," he told her. Chester took his mother's hand in his own and unfolded her large, familiar fingers into a fan. And next, he leaned forward and kissed the center of her hand. "Now you have a kissing hand, too," he told her. And with a gentle goodbye and I love you, Chester turned and danced away. He's headed to that tree, just like all the other animals are headed to that tree. Mrs. Raccoon watched Chester scamper across a tree limb and enter school. And as the hoot owl rang in the new year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. "Chester loves you," it sang. "Chester loves you." That was nice of Chester to do. He must know that sometimes when kids go off to kindergarten, their mommies miss them a lot. And so he made sure that his mom had a kissing hand too. And there's all the animals at the school. They go to school in a tree. And there's their teacher, the owl. And there's our main character, Chester. And here's Chester's kissing hand. And it says, "I love you." Can you do that with your hand? You put these two fingers down in the middle, and your pinky up, and your pointer finger up, and your thumb up. And that means, "I love you." And it says, "I love you." And there's the kissing hand. Thank you for reading The Kissing Hand with me.